Yes, and the doctor is here when it comes to matters finances. This is Financial Clinic. A very good morning to you, wherever you're joining us from this Wednesday morning. I'm super excited to be hosting amazing, beautiful ladies who are here to just help us understand this thing, table banking, which most of you, by the way, I've just got to know that ndio tunaita chama. You're in like 4 of them or whatever. So today we're going to be unpacking that and just getting into that conversation. You can join us on our socials. 203-16 is our SMS line, and WhatsApp is 0786-316-316, a number where you can be able to ask your questions, interact with us, and let us know what you think about table banking. My name is Sally Limo. Welcome, ladies, to the show. Good to have you this morning.
Thank you.
Karibuni sana. I'll start with Faith. Faith, introduce yourself.
Yeah, good morning, viewers.
Yeah.
Amazing morning. Thank you, Sally, for having me here.
Sure.
Faith Kaivia. I'm a trainer and I'm also a business strategist. I offer business mentorship and training. And when we talk of table banking in chamas,
Right.
I'm an expert trainer for the chamas.
Wow.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Kate, introduce yourself.
Yeah, good morning, viewers. My name is Catherine Karimi. I'm born again. I love Christ. Thank you, Sally, for having us today. I'm here as a pure beneficiary of table banking, and I'm here to share my experience with the viewers.
Right.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And as the audience can clearly see, you speak money. You look amazing. And just to start us off, Faith, probably, what is really table banking all about?
Yeah, table banking is what we Kenyans call chama banking.
Okay.
It's the same. Table banking is the English part of it.
Yeah.
And it's where members actually pool resources, finances together.
Okay.
They come up and create a group, then decide, let's pool our money together on the table, and then share out that money in terms of either loans or part of it they put aside and save it.
Okay.
Yeah, so that pooling of the funds together, chama in Swahili is a group.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just groups pulling resources together and putting the funds together in one kitty. Then they lend from that kitty and save the balance.
I know there's so many benefits there which we'll be discussing in the course of this show. Kate, when it comes to you as a beneficiary, first and foremost, what motivated you to just get into one of those, table banking groups?
For me, Sally, I was looking for a simple yet practical platform of managing my finances. And equally as well, being a starter, you need finances to start. You need what you call capital in terms of investment.
Right.
So I needed a quick fix in terms of finances, capital. And also I was looking for a place where I go not only have the money matters, where I can socialize, where I can talk about my business, we can share business ideas. And I think those two really quickened me to join a table banking. When I talk about the finances, I'm talking about easy access of finances. My quick fix in terms of finances. And you can bear me witness that being a business starter in Kenya is not that easy without a capital. So I think table banking for me was a solution that really sorted me out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing a lot of benefits right there. Faith, I don't know, what are some of the more benefits apart from what Kate has just mentioned? What are some other benefits that members can get from being in those groups?
Yeah, of course, the first benefit is where resources are pooled in terms of funds, and a member can borrow. The process of borrowing is far much easier compared to the traditional banking, where you have to take a lot of processes, a lot of documentation.
Right.
So when it comes to table banking, access to credit becomes very, very easy. Of course, table banking is a bridge to financing.
Yeah.
Because it's one way of financing either their business or certain personal needs, maybe school fees and certain other needs. So the main benefit is actually that access to finances on a timely manner, in a flexible way. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You've talked about even just taking the loans and stuff. What are the rates like, Kate? The interest rates when you get a loan from there, and how is it to access credit from these groups?
Thank you, Sally. my experience with the table banking I'm in, we have got two methods of lending. That is short-term loans and long-term loans.
Okay.
On short-term loans, we're doing 10%. 10% of the amount that you qualify to take.
Okay.
Remember, this particular time we're looking at the shares. We are also looking at maybe the contribution at the end of the day.
Okay.
So based on the multiplier, because again, chamas differ, table bankings differ. But the one that I'm in is for a short term is a multiplier of 2.
Okay.
For a long term is a multiplier of 3 of your shares.
Okay.
So it's 10% on a short term and 1% per annum on a long term.
Okay.
Yes, quite manageable.
Are there any similarities with a SACCO, kind of, from what Kate is saying?
Yes, there's a similarity there. You save and borrow. You know, SACCO is about saving and borrowing.
Yeah.
And then the type of loan you borrow is the one to determine the interest rates to be applied. For more short-term loans, the rate is slightly higher. For the longer-term loans, the interest rate is slightly lower. But these are rules set by the members. It's the members to decide. It's our money. How do we want to lend to each other? What rates do we use?
Okay.
There are those who consider their groups probably investment groups. So they want to earn interest from their own money, and at the end of the, or at a certain period, maybe at the end of their financial year, they share in terms of bonuses or dividends. So they may decide to be ambitious and give a slightly higher rate.
Okay.
There are those who may decide our CHAMA or our table banking group is to help members grow their businesses or expand financially. So they may choose to go for a lower interest rate.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's very similar to the SACCO model.
Okay.
Yes.
And what is the role of Faith? What is the role of table banking in enhancing, you know, financial inclusion? Yeah. How does that work?
You know, there is the majority that is normally left out in the formal banking.
Okay.
In terms of the requirements. And if we look at the history of table banking in countries like Kenya, for example, it may have emerged from the villages because probably those were the underbanked communities. So people decided, why don't we put our resources together and now do something? But later, over time, became a concept that could be borrowed, even in the city. An average Kenyan lady or an average Kenyan today is an average of 3 chamas, I included. I'm also a beneficiary of the table banking. So basically, that's how the model looks like.
Kate, how has this table banking then helped you to, you know, like even just grow personal growth and even in business? How has it come through for you?
Quite in a huge way, sadly. Yeah, because as Faith said, the traditional conventional way of borrowing and borrowing money, which is the normal banking. The turnaround time for borrowing is usually a bit long. The paperwork, the credit checks. But for table banking, it's a quick fix. So if today maybe I happen to get an LPO somewhere, which has got a certain deadline, I don't struggle so much. It's just calling my CHAMA members, I float my LPO, I tell them I've got this need. Within no time, I'm sorted out. And that thing of like borrowing quickly, you're able now to meet your target very, very well. And again, the point of, the essence of reinvesting. As you borrow, you're investing, and hence now growth in your business. And again, sadly, look at it like this. Mostly business people, or rather a normal Kenyan, you don't have the discipline of saving.
Absolutely,
You can be a witness, isn't it? But now in table banking, there's that discipline of saving. Like now in the table banking I'm in, we've got a product that we call boosters. Boosters is like, it's like we've got 2 boosters which we contribute on the table that now helps a member to save. And at the end of maybe a financial year, you get that money 50% increase on top. If I saved 32,000, for example, I'll get a 16,000 shilling on top. Which bank can give you that? Which banking institution can give you a 50% increase in terms of interest? So that really motivates an investor. That really, places you better in terms of your expenses, because at the end of the day, you're saving this amount of money for this and this particular kind of engagement in terms of your business. So for me, I say that quick fix, the discipline of saving, the cross ideas sharing with other members has really helped me grow business-wise.
How many members are you in your in your group, for example?
Currently, we are 20.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the maximum or minimum? Is there
25.
Oh, that's the max.
25,
okay.
and I'm also glad to tell you that it is not women only.
That was going to be my next question. Is it just about women? I wanted to get to that.
Yes, it's not women only.
Yeah.
We are blessed to have a balanced gender in the group.
Okay.
And so we have got men. Yes, who are investors.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Faith, you said this is like a chama, same to what Kate has said.
Yes.
But there are these chamas that, I don't know how you'd speak to this group of people. There are people who do, those are merry-go-rounds. It's the same thing.
It's the same
We
thing,
are just the three of us and we share, and then we give you.
Yes.
Share. What would you tell such people?
Actually, that is what table banking is, a pool of people.
But in this one, there's no interest, you don't earn any, it is just, you give 10K, you give me 20K at the end of the month.
Yes.
Is it still table banking?
It's table banking, only that now they have not taken it a notch higher, where they could make it an investment group. Investment means instead of now pulling that money and just sharing it out, diversify into options. Like Kate has said, she's in a chama where you diversify. Part of that money goes into savings, which you can collect after a period of time, maybe at the end of the year or at the end of the financial year. Or you could probably pull that money together, set it aside and go for a bigger goal. So what such a group needs is actually that capacity building element to understand how to manage this finance, because when you've pulled that money and shared it just now, yes, it may help the member who took the money that day, merry-go-round, but you can do far much beyond that to help each other. How do you invest further? Can you at least do merry-go-down on 50% of that, then the other 50% goes into savings, or how else can you diversify that?
Fantastic.
Yes.
Kate, you want to add something to that? Or maybe you can just touch on, do you do trainings, with the groups? Do you take them through financial literacy for them to understand money matters in your groups?
Yeah, we are glad our group is a bit dynamic.
Okay.
And we have got, dynamic means we have got people who are employed and yet they have got their side hustles in terms of business.
Okay.
And these employed people are professionals in different areas. So we first of all take advantage of our population in terms of capacity building or skills. And now, for example, in our group we have got one lady who has been a banker over time. So we wouldn't say we go out first before we exhaust our skills inside. So we usually have periodical financial literacy within the group.
Nice.
And then now the organization that stands in for us, they send over people to come and do capacity building in different aspects of business world. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Faith, initially I think table banking was more like the conversation you're having just before being on air. It was more in the rural areas, isn't it?
True.
Things have changed.
Yes.
How so?
Yeah, things have changed because the assumption of the rural people at that time was that they could not access the mainstream banking. And they felt, as much as we can't access the mainstream, and it started with our mothers anyway, why don't we just pull our resources together and do big things? And some people have gone to school because of this, what their mothers did at that time. Now, what has changed? Currently, this table banking concept has been borrowed far and beyond the village. Even in the city, there are people who have formed such groups and even gone beyond to become investment groups. Investment means they start small, and over time you hear, I know of a group who probably did a whole real estate project, and there are many actually who did a whole real estate project, a block of flats, and they are earning from it. It becomes even a business at the end of the day. So the concept has migrated. It's in the rural, it's now in the cities, and I think it's also global.
It is.
I know there are Kenyans who in the diaspora who are actually organizing themselves in similar groups.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there probably an age limit when it comes to someone who can join your groups, for example, because we have the Gen Zs as well who are also coming into the job market. Speak to them in terms of, is it something they can also try, something they can be in? What are the benefits for them, especially at this age of, the 20s and thereabout?
Okay. Sure, yes. It's very much possible. As much, provided if someone has got a running business and is of age, of age means 18 and above. I actually encourage Gen Zs and any young person to join table banking. Remember, if we go back to the banking, the traditional banking, when you go for borrowing of money, one of the factors, maybe Faith, you can correct if I'm wrong, one of the factors is your credit history or credit check. Now for these young people, they are maybe from high school and entering being a business person or being like being investors. For them, they just need to form a group and of course with a minimum members. And yes, they start borrowing. Other than now going to the bank, how much have you invested before? How long have you invested? So it's a quick way of actually starting businesses and now bridging, sadly, the gap of unemployment we have around. So it's a way of actually encouraging the young people.
Start building wealth early.
Yes, sure, yes. Actually, they can be millionaires. They are very young. You can have millionaires at 18 years. You can have millionaires at 20 years. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Business does not choose, Sally. Business that does not choose the age. What matters is what factors are playing in for someone to conduct a successful business. And capital is a major one.
Capital is a major one. Yes. Faith, you talked about you being a beneficiary.
Yes.
What are some of the things, probably projects or something you've done from just being a member of this group? And that will be the same question for Kit. What is this benefit that you look at and you're like, wow, I'm glad that I was in this group?
Yes, you're right. One of the benefits I've gained, I run a business. And this business is in production, manufacturing.
Wow.
I get raw materials from the northeastern region of Kenya.
Okay.
And I process products using franchises and Meyer. Now, when I started this business, being a startup manufacturing, it was not easy to access mainstream financing because of most banks actually don't finance startups. So I reached a point where if you're in manufacturing, you need this machinery has come, it's at the port, you need import duty and all that. I just went back to my chama, my table banking group, and took very quick funds, paid my import duties for my goods, for my equipment to come here. Then I started now setting up. I needed working capital. I kept going back. And to tell you the truth, it's 2 years now. This business is growing and blossoming because of the group, the table banking concept. To date, I still go back to my group to borrow whenever I need working capital.
That's encouraging.
Yes.
That's quite encouraging.
Yes.
Yeah, I think mine is a testimony, sadly. Because I was employed formally, and we lost our jobs through redundancy. The way an organization would scale down in terms of
restructuring and all that.
Yes, the right word, restructuring. And I found myself at a fix. Being a mother in this Nairobi, with all the requirements of being a provider, I had not to think straight and very fast. Before I left my formal employment, I had started a small engagement for children. That is children activities. And I engaged them informally because I didn't have anything to do during the weekend. And also the children, somehow they were lingering around my area. I didn't know it is going to give birth to an academy, a performing arts academy, through the table banking, through talent management. And so we started dancing within where I was. Very soon and very, very fast. It became something else. Now through the table banking, I was able now to like put in place proper structures for a performing arts academy. And able to pull now young people again to train for us in terms of dances, because we offer performing arts. These are dances, these are gymnastics, fine art, all that. We found now employment even for young people. And look, how did I benefit from the table banking? I come today, I borrow money, I pay salaries, right? People are coming in, enrolling for this program, growing very big, and at the end of the day, I found myself in primary private schools and setting a local physical performing arts academy. So we have got around 36 young people training under this performing arts academy.
36.
Yes.
This is what we call impactful stories. What else? I mean, what else can we call this? Amazing.
I've also seen children travel even outside the country, going all the way to Germany for exchange programs.
Okay.
So it just touched the entire community, just out of the table banking.
Yes. Okay.
I would actually thank the person who introduced me to this table banking, because look, we are here today and we're talking about success and business growth in terms of business. Yeah.
I'm going to leave it at that, because I'm just wowing, and with that we'll take a very short break.
Yes.
But we'll be right back. You know, this is what we talk about when you tell you family media has these are two impactful stories to you, and this has been done over the years. For the last 25 years, this is what family media has been doing, and we just want to appreciate you and say thank you, for just being with us and working with us in this journey. And remember to keep talking to us on all our socials, including SMS 20316, WhatsApp us on 0786 316 316. Let us know what you think about table banking. We'll be with you shortly.
My name is Rose Mulindi Musau. Mulindi is my father's name. Musau is my husband's name. I'm a mother, a wife, been married for this will be 25th year now, end of this year. Yeah, I'm also a grandmother of quite a number of children. My nieces also, their children also call me grandma. So yeah, and then I have been many things. I've started off as a teacher, and that's where I did my counseling training, the initial one. So I started off as a teacher, and I moved from teaching, I went to research, market research, where I was a market research executive. Then I moved from there and I went to the NGO world, where I was a monitoring and evaluation officer.
As Rose reflects, knowing about family radio came to her as a blessing.
I was actually in my car and there was a family FM car in front of me. It had a sticker. So I started looking through, and I searched, I found it. And they were playing, I always remember they were playing I Need a Miracle. Lord above.
As an avid listener to family radio, Rose has seen not only her life impacted, but that of her family as well.
Chuck in the morning, that one I cannot miss. No matter what I'm doing, no matter where I am, I will log in. When Pastor Jemo was there, I really liked his programs, like all of them. Like that one was guaranteed. Even if I'm going to work, I'd be on the radio. Lately now it's Mokaya. He's good. Kememwa is still. For Gospel Sounds of Africa, that one I do not fail to listen. My son, I've seen a change in him. Like he tends to actually listen to family more than any other Christian station. Occasionally, yes, he will tune into something else, but most of the time he listens to family. And he basically really likes, like, there's a part where music is just played, he'll listen to that and he'll sing along. Even when he's driving, he'll sing along. My daughter, she actually developed a love for Hillsong because of family.
We acknowledge the tremendous support of our partners that has been key in helping us keep Jesus on the airwaves, but we can't stop now.
We don't stop until Jesus comes back, because the menu you guys have is different from the other Christian stations. Everybody has the channel they listen to. If you guys stopped, that sector that listens to you would be lost. There's that song that says God loves people more than anything, and God loves people to come to Him. And sometimes we as individuals cannot go out there and do that work. If you're as scared as me of approaching someone and tell them, hey, do you know about Jesus? Family can do it for you. And the only way they can remain on air is if we give. If we don't give, then they will go off air. And if they go off air, someone who was supposed to listen, this is the other thing that scares me, that someone who was supposed to listen will not go to heaven, and God will call you to account, to be accountable for that soul that got lost. So give, because you never know who will be blessed because you gave. And family radio is still on air. Family media is still on air.
To become a partner with us, SMS the word partner to 20316. We will be glad to guide you through to be part of the family that is helping keep Jesus on the airwaves.
Indeed, I can see people are so keen on matters table banking. There's a lot of feedback. But before that, remember that family media has impacted so many souls, so many lives out there, just like what you've had before that song. So let's keep supporting family media to bring you such beautiful content like what we're sharing this morning. And I'm seeing on our socials, there's someone who is saying, table banking, others call it group savings, or loan or village savings and loan associations, has worked so well in rural and urban slums. Haki Group has over 32 groups with over 400 members doing table banking. Amazing. We come to questions. Good morning, Sally. What a beautiful show with beautiful cash ladies. Thank you so much. Yes, indeed they are. What are the security measures in table banking? I've always asked my wife, so this is a man asking that, what if questions? What if one fails to pay back the loans? What if others refuse to contribute when it's your turn? What if a member dies? Is there a next of kin measure in place? Otherwise, I fully support table banking because as a family, we have really benefited from her chamas. It's about time the guy also joins, isn't it?
Yes, please.
So, yeah. Sure. So I think we'll start with Kate. What if one fails to pay back the loans? What happens?
Yeah, Sally, we know that even in the traditional banking, defaulters are there. And there are mechanisms to have defaulters pay. Likewise, in table banking, there is a system of us falling on the monies. And maybe later we shall be talking it as like a con. But we have got a mechanism of how that money is followed up. Table banking is founded on trust. Remember, even as we come in as members, we actually vet these members. Members are vetted because it's a circle that trust has got to be key. You have got to know where you're coming from, who are your associates. Sometimes even you do home physical visits to know where you're coming from. So these are the measures now that we are using to cap or minimize defaulting rate. At the end of the day, we shall have but minimum. But the structure of following up is there. Based on trust and actually like a contact trace. Who is this we're having on board? Who is Faith? Where does Faith come from? We even go as far as knowing who is Faith's mother. Where is which village does she come from? So we do a thorough background check before we do that. And when that time, unfortunately, if a defaulter pops, then now we go back now tracing. We've recovered because of course we've had defaulters. But thank God we've recovered because we even follow up even to if you're employed to employer. Yes. So the mechanism is there. Yes.
Because I've seen, even on Facebook, I think you've seen those stories. Someone has disappeared with millions. People's money. And they're there, and she said there's nothing you can do about it. So I like that, what you're talking about. People should do background checks and go all that way to just get to, you, if need be, arrested. Cindy. So what if others refuse to contribute when it's your turn? That's a question from our viewer.
When forming this group, the first thing you need to come up with is group rules or bylaws. And one of the rules and laws is how and when to contribute and how much to contribute. And the laws should state also, if you don't contribute for a certain period of time, what happens to you? In some cases, if you don't contribute for more than 3 months, you're exited in the group. And exiting means now you check how much do you owe, how much have you saved, can it net off? If it can't, can you repay your loan? And we allow you because you're not abiding by the group rules. And one of the main rules is save first before you can borrow. Yes, so saving is mandatory. So if you can't meet that, you're clearly
save first. So is there a limit, like, or you, for example, I come in and I save probably 30. Is that good enough, or is there a certain number?
It's dependent on the group. They come up with a minimum and maximum amount. Minimum because the people, somebody probably's ability is to save a minimum of 3,000.
Right.
Another person's ability is maybe to save 30,000. But maybe they could save 200,000 per month, which is not right for the group because they have to move at a similar pace based on the rules guiding the group.
Okay.
So for the groups, they need to come up with a minimum and a maximum based on their level.
Okay.
There are groups that can do a minimum of even 100 shillings per day, per week, per month. It depends on the financial muscle of each person in the group.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. And still on that, because these are some of the questions actually we're going to discuss, but this particular viewer has actually preempted. So it says, what if a member dies? Is there a next of kin measure in place?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. Practically, like in our table banking, there is that aspect of next of kin. Can I give an example in this?
Sure.
We lost a member I think 2 years ago.
Okay.
Fortunately, the records shows that the husband was supposed to be the next of kin, and the child was also mentioned there.
Okay.
Of course, we had now to, as a chama, we usually have like a loaning. We have a committee that decide now what should happen.
Yeah.
And we finally decided that a certain amount of money we will go to the husband, and a certain amount of money will go to the child when this child becomes of age. And we're also thinking, how do we help this particular next of kin? This child, we say, let us put the money in the money markets.
Oh, wow.
So that now by the time this child is of age, this money has even matured more. So we are giving this child a benefit on top of what now the deceased left.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So the aspect of next of kin is there.
Yeah. Maybe to weigh in on the same point, Sally.
Absolutely.
In the group I'm in, we have the insurance option as well. There's something we call last expense in insurance.
Yes.
And in a case where you lose a member, that compensation on the last expense also works. So insurance is also another mitigant in terms of managing a loss of a group member and how the beneficiary will be handled after.
Okay.
It's about what kind of structures do you have. What you create proper, clear structures. Do we take insurance? How do we mitigate risks?
Yeah.
So any formality on that helps in such losses.
Okay.
Yes.
And what are some of the major barriers that probably may hinder the table banking to get to its full potential or reach the full potential?
Okay.
Are there any?
Yes, they're there. You know, even the Bible says the people were stubborn to Moses.
Yes.
It's human nature to be stubborn. So there are times people don't abide by the rules to the letter.
Yeah.
And mechanisms have to be there to deal with anyone who is going against the bylaws or rules of a group.
Okay.
So it's if the bylaw is clear on how to deal with such a member, then it becomes easier to handle the member. In the group I'm in, we even formed a committee. Apart from the leadership, we have a committee. We have committees. We have a committee dealing with discipline. We have a committee dealing with financial matters. So the committees also help us deal with such members who are a bit stubborn and cannot abide by the rules.
Maybe, Sally, another fact that plays in is the economical status. Remember during COVID, so many businesses were affected. In fact, all the business people were hit below the belt. And at that particular point, you can imagine someone has borrowed money, and this money must come back. So even the expansion and the growth of the table banking hits a stall because there's no movement. There's no money which is coming in. There's no money which is going out. So even the economical situations and the economical status of a place is a major factor that either can make a table banking work or not work.
Okay.
But in any case, we are business people, we soldier on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think when you speak about economic, also now what comes to mind is the government.
Yes.
You know, what role can the government play in such initiatives like table banking, for example?
Yes. The government can come in handy. Of course, one of the ways I know they are groups, these table banking groups are self-regulated. They're not regulated by the government. However, the government supports through the Ministry of Social Services. but there's much more that they can do. What can this ministry do to support group forming and those groupings? One of the ways they can do is probably come up with clear ways of how can you support capacity building, how can you support with knowledge on financial empowerment, how can you help, as much as they're self-regulated, how can the regulations also be kind of managed well to support more people to do those formal groupings. Those who form investment groups. Now, investment groups is also different. There are those who go a notch higher and decide, can we even register a limited company? They have to walk through the government. So what concessions, again, can the government give for such in terms of maybe tax rebates, but they are starting out. What kind of rebates can they offer? What kind of support can they offer as they walk along to form the investment groups that are more formal? Yes.
Maybe to add on that, just to give an example with our table banking, the way the government has supported us. We are forming, we are registering a CBO, or community-based organization. Now the government, through the Ministry of Social Services, they send people to come and train the group on what is the CBO, what are the features of a CBO. It's like now we're having a training in the month of March, the end of the March, and all the group members will convene and will be trained on what is a CBO, what are the features of a CBO, what are the benefits of having a CBO. Of course, there are numerous benefits of us being registered as CBO, and I think that is one of the direct benefits that we are getting from the government as we speak. Because when you called, and I'm the one called, they told us, apparently, we don't register any CBO without prior trainings. You understand? So as members, we shall walk in knowing what is CBO. And like before, we were just registering the requirements. We meet the requirements, and then we are CBO. So I think that's one of the way the government is supporting.
Fantastic. So something is happening behind the scenes. So now, then going back to our social platforms, someone still talks about in Haki Group we encourage members to have social funds account that cater for eventualities like death and hospital bills. And probably I may want to ask, like, do you do the same in your table banking groups?
Yes, in our table banking group, we have a welfare. We have a welfare docket, and the welfare actually is to take care of welfare matters. And welfare matters are broad. Happy seasons and low seasons. It can be marriage, birth of a new child, reward you. It can be, unfortunately, death. So the welfare takes care of all those aspects. And we have a committee running with the welfare. And beyond that also, apart from now the happy season, low season, they also give us opportunities to do things like team building together. Go out and get away team building so that members can gel and get to know each other in a more better way.
Man, today we're on fire here. Someone is saying, wow, I'm so happy. I think this is the same person who talked to us about the wife, the way they've benefited, and he says, I'm happy my questions have been well answered. I think I will task her to watch the show. The knowledge here will really help her chamas to grow. Table banking sounds better than I even thought. It's time I start one with my boys.
Amazing.
The impact that this is having.
You're here to help.
And you're here to help. So to our listener and viewer, the ladies are here to help you, hold your hand and walk with you to ensure that you actually manage and find, a good one and, benefit from it just like they have. I'm also wondering, like, is this, when you look at table banking, is it a sustainable solution for economic empowerment? Do you think it is?
Yes, you can see that again. It is, yes. The aspect of the community coming together. Lending, borrowing, returning money, whatever language you can use. That financial inclusion, for sure it's a way to go for economic sustainability. The fact that you are able to borrow money and the turnaround time is minimal in itself is an aspect of, or a factor of economic sustainability, because you're able to move things fast. You understand? You're able to fix things very, very fast. And also the issue of the interest rate, because one of the things that I know put people off is the interest rate. We have got very flexible interest rates here, something that encourages now investor to look even at the ideas they have to coin them now into proper investment. So I think it is a factor that really can boost economic sustainability in Kenya. Yes. Yeah.
You want to add something, Faith?
Yes, I wanted to add. There are other benefits beyond the finances exchanging on the table.
Right.
One of them is mentorship. I'm in another group where my mother was tasked to join that group, and the rule is you join with your firstborn daughter or your first daughter. So it's mothers and daughters. The mentorship in that group is amazing. They mentor us on family life. They mentor us on life situations. It's amazing. I'm in another group where we call ourselves Women in the Marketplace. Women in the Marketplace is about coming together and even selling our wares or our goods to each other, praying for each other, supporting for each other. In another group, we do market days. So that you get money to bring to the next table banking session. Come with your wares you sell to us. So we have a marketplace day, which is Fridays. So apart from the financial aspect of it, there are these other benefits: the mentorship, the learning from each other, the growing together, the praying together. Those are amazing things and the amazing benefits that people can harness from being in table banking groups. Yes.
Just remember that the table banking actually instills a lot of discipline in an investor. That continuous and consistent savings nurtures you to develop some discipline in business. Initially, I could not even save, Sally. But now I'm forced to save. Because I don't want to look at another investor at the end of the year chewing our 50% on like having a proper bonus. And I'm here quiet. So it instills a bit of and these are the small factors now. We need now to scale them up to support the economic sustainability in this country of ours. We need some discipline in it, in investors. That 50 shilling every day, 50 shilling add to something at the end of the year, at the end of the financial year, or at the end of the period.
It's like you have an accountability partner.
Oh yes, that one for sure. It is so key. Accountability is something which is very important, and it is birthed out of the discipline, by the way.
I'm just wondering. I'm coming to you, Faith. And as I am like this now, and my question to you would be, how then do I start a table banking group? Of course, there's that. Is it with friends, then vetting? Take us through the process of starting a table banking.
If you want to start a table banking group, first of all, you have to identify individuals who are like-minded or who share a common vision with you. Why are you joining the group? Is it financial inclusivity? Is it for fun? So you have to select a group where the individuals are like-minded and they share a common vision. Then once you select the individuals and you all feel we're on the same journey together, you sit together and come up with rules or guidelines or bylaws. What rules will govern our group? Every grouping, when guided with rules, it works better because the rules remind you this is not supposed to be done. It's supposed the right way to do things. Then once you've done that, you can choose to formalize it. Formalize means you can now choose either to register, and Kate talked about registering as either a CBO, community-based organization, or a self-help group, or a SACCO, or a limited company, which is an investment group. You are the ones to decide which option to go for. You can also choose, we don't want to register, we want to operate as a group of friends or like-minded people, but we can run it in our names or jointly in our names. So basically you can run that. In the rules, of course, you have set out details of when and how and where you'll be meeting, how often you'll be meeting. That should also be able to help you be able to move to the next level. But what makes many groups gel together is individuals who are like-minded working together. You have a common goal, we have a common vision. If you have a common goal and a common vision, it will be easier to work together. But if you are disjointed in terms of the thinking levels, you may not be able to gel together.
And that also maybe, is financial literacy then ingredient for the success of table banking?
Yes, at the end of the day it is, because here you are dealing with money matters. We are dealing with savings, we are dealing with borrowing, we are dealing with money in, money out. So at the end of the day, financial literacy is key, because we need to be aware when we borrow this money, how do we spend it? How do we make sure that we have got RIO on it, or in other words, return on investment on it? How do we capture the the formula of us having that money and take it and have it brought back with some increase. Financial literacy at the end of the day is key, Sally, because like in the rural, I'm just taking my mind into our rural areas where you've got our mothers engaged in table banking, or even our fathers who have never gone to school. There's some information that they don't have. For sure, that capacity building in terms of financial literacy is very, very key.
Very key.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Faith, you want to add something? I can see.
Yes. Financial literacy is key.
Yeah.
Because it gives you the right financial skills to actually harness as you jointly save together.
Okay.
Capacity building is also good enough, and it's important, very important, because it goes beyond financial literacy. Capacity building helps group members to learn things like how do we do bookkeeping, how do we manage the finances of the group, how do we work together as a team, how can we develop ourselves and grow. For those in business, how can we get business management skills. All that is actually part of the capacity buildings that happen in groups.
Okay.
Yes.
And there's a question someone is asking, do you also train the new members who, have just come in? Do you train them on matters financial literacy?
Yes, we do. Fortunately, the organization the umbrella that we are under, they send people our way.
Okay.
To do refresher trainings for the newly or the new members that have joined in. But you remember earlier I told you that we've got like seasoned professionals within now the group. We take advantage of that.
Right.
So we've got like a committee that takes care of capacity building in terms of those who have joined new. So every time that we have got a new person, there's one group committee that is fully responsible on doing an induction to these particular new members. Yes.
Very well organized, man. I should say, someone is saying it is sustainable. I think now the table banking groups are sustainable in the sense that interest earned is plowed back to the members at the end of the year. It helps build culture of savings and borrowing among the least in the economic pyramid, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And probably as we just end the show, we are coming to the end of the show, unfortunately, as much as we've learned. What are the key takeaways of the power of table banking for both of you, as we close?
Yes. A wise man once said, if you want to go far, walk together.
Right.
Walk alone, you may not probably go so far. So this grouping element of table banking can help someone walk miles and miles, because it's beyond just financial management matters. It goes beyond, because there's mentorship, there's encouragement, there's support from each group member. Even in our groups, for example, where a member has defaulted, before you crucify them, you need to understand why did they default. Is it the business that failed? Did they have a calamity before them? What really happened? So basically, my parting shot would be to walk far, walk together, join hands, but as you select who to work with in a group, look for the like-mindedness. Do you share a common vision? Do you share a common goal? And if you share that common vision or common goal, you will go far together.
Amazing.
Yes.
Great parting shot right there.
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you so much. I just want to anchor from what Faith has said.
Yes.
For me, I want to go far. I don't want to go fast. I want to go fast, but I want also to go far.
Yes.
At the end of the day, viewers, is that we've got to really know the importance of table banking. First, I'm an example. I live an example.
Absolutely.
Where I am, I would say that this far is because of table banking. Initially, I didn't have the saving discipline. I don't know if there are very many Kenyans who are like me. But table banking has nurtured that discipline. At the end of the year, I know I can even take my family for a holiday. Because I have developed over time the discipline of money matters. Then my last parting shot is, in case there's anyone out there that want to be nurtured in terms of table banking, please don't feel shy to reach out to us via Sadly.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely share your numbers, and I know so much of that will be coming in. I just want to say thank you so much. Asanteni sana. Time is the enemy as always. Not
yes.
But I'm sure we'll have another conversation sometime later, just to come back and keep on enlightening and empowering people when it comes to matters finances. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much as well, my viewer and listener, for giving us your time, for the feedback you've given, the questions. Even there's a viewer who's actually even giving us advice as well. As I have my guest here, he's also talking about the haki and telling us what they do. Amazing. Thank you so much. And also that very important group of people, I call them partners, or we call them partners here at Family Media. Thank you so much for always holding our hands and working with us through the process, through the years, 25 years being on air, and keeping Jesus on the airways hasn't been easy, hasn't been a joke, but you've made it possible, through your contributions, through your just blessing us, and even praying for us means a lot to us. So I want to say thank you so much. And if you feel you want to be part of this impactful group that is touching lives every day, then you can do that by sending in your name to 20316 as SMS line, and WhatsApp us on 0786316316, and you send the word partner, and one of our staff will be able to reach out to you. But if you want to send anything, a contribution, any kind of support, then you can do that on paybill number 316, and the account number will be your telephone number. Thank you so much. God bless you and keep you. And remember, tomorrow I have another clinic on relationship matters. We shall be discussing about physical abuse in marriages. So keep it right here tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. May God bless you and keep you, and may He shine His face upon you during this day. God bless.